stop name calling one another, stop cursing one another, stop gossiping about one another, stop squabbling with one another, stop being discourteous and disrespectful to one another, stop fighting one another, stop killing one another, stop using and selling drugs to one another, stop throwing down trash where black people have to live, work, and play. Did I say stop stealing, stop robbing? Now, as I said, the pressure of the white supremacy dynamic that forces black people to think negatively about themselves and set up negative environmental conditions will produce these negative behaviors. You see, but that's just like somebody putting you in check from the other side of the board. So you have to learn the tactics and strategies, the behavioral tactics and strategies, do you see, that will stop that from happening. So you're constantly on the offensive and the defense about preserving or evolving and developing a very positive image and concept.
Welcome aboard, welcome aboard, welcome aboard. This is your man, HRap B, Brian HRap B Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media. Thank you for tapping in as you do on a regular basis. It is important. I've been shadow banned. So I need you guys hit that like, hit that share more than ever. You need to hit that like, hit that share. I am in the midst of a shadow ban. I'm gonna come out of it like I always do, but I need you to do so. Hit that like, hit that share, tell a friend to tap in. This is the End of the Bench Media. As I said, this is a few minutes with HRap. As I do every day, I thank my parents, Dolores and John. Dolores and John are my parents. They came together, made me. I created this. Without this, you'd be doing something else with your valuable time. So thank you. I want you to know, if you're not watching this live, go to www.theendofthebench.com, www.theendofthebench.com, and you can catch this and other works for the last 90 days. There are 3 pages of work, 90 days of work. I need you to check it out. You guys have been doing stupendous, even though they're shadow banning me on YouTube. You guys are still going to the website, which is beneficial to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, with that being said, Save the Children is the name of the program. Save the Children. Save the Children is the most important thing in the world. Without the children, we end. That is the end, beginning, and middle of the story. That's the beginning, middle, and end of the story, I should have said. But this is what I want you to understand. A lot of people today, we are allowing, metaphorically, we would be metaphorically people under oppression like the Nazis in World War II and the Jewish community, or the people who they call gypsies, or the Egyptian Jewish people. We would be them. And now we are letting our oppressor, we are letting the Nazis shape the image of our children. We always denigrating our children. We always putting these horrible labels on our children, saying things like they don't want to work and they don't listen and they don't and they don't and they don't and they don't. But what I do know about children is this: a child is like a water glass. If you put nothing into the glass, you can't complain that it's dust in the glass. Now, if you put ice, you put water or another beverage in, then you can sip and you'll be refreshed. The children are refreshing us, or they should be. But if you want to complain about these young people, what have you done to help them? See, we sit around, and that's the easiest thing in the world. Say they won't listen. They don't listen, and they don't do this, and they don't do that. And see, the problem is, but the easiest thing in the world to do is nothing. The easiest thing to do in the world is nothing. Am I foolish enough to believe, hey man, these are everybody has done everything they can with these children, and these children just won't listen? Because that's what I always hear all the time. These kids don't listen. Well, question: when did you start talking to them? When did you start talking to them? The 2K children, when did you start talking to them? Did you start talking to them in 2003? You start talking to them in 2005? Did you start talking to them in 2010? Did you start talking to them in 2013? Did you start talking to them in 2018? If you waited that long, if you waited to 13, 18, or 2015 to start talking to these children, of course they're not listening to you, because they've lived an entire lifetime without guidance, without information, without being put into places that they can be successful. And now you want them to listen to what you have to say. So it's really not the children's fault, because guess what? Rebellious young people is something that has been going on since the beginning of time. And then the first thing, when I say those things, people, no, not like these children. These children are different. No, they're not. If you don't give someone proper guidance, they are going to go astray. You know, it's a reason. Like most of us, we believe in the Holy Quran, we believe in the Torah, or we believe in the Bible. Most people on earth, we in one of those groups. But when you're in one of those groups, you know what's interesting about being in one of those groups? The books from those groups, you know what they do? They guide you to say, hey, raise a child right, and he'll all, and even when he goes astray, he'll come back to that. Are we raising our children right? Are we allowing people to put the worst of the worst on television and show you these things? Or if you live in an urban community, you are seeing some of the people who are not doing the things. Thank you, Fly Tie. Are you putting them in environments in which they cannot excel? The pervading thing around them is struggle, and then you expect them not to have a struggle mentality. You have to address these young people immediately, just like your parents. Look, just like your parents talk to you. If you want to talk to me about the children that are caught on film doing poor things, you see it on the news all the time. But why don't you see on the news like this young man from Boring High School here in Chicago who just got a full ride scholarship and over $1 million in scholarship money, where he could have went to any institution, a multitude of institutions throughout the United States of America, but he decided to go to Northern Illinois University. Why are we seeing? You think he's the only child that's doing that? No. But they only highlight that one, and they will put the spotlight on 1,000 other young people who are doing erroneous things. They're not like us. That's another thing. Oh, no, they're not like us. Yes, they are. If not getting caught, it's not being an angel. I'm going to say that again. Just because you didn't get caught does not make you an angel. Oh, they using drugs and they drinking. Well, I never used any drugs, but I've been drinking since age 14. I'm 54 years old. I'll be 55 in about 18 days. So I don't want to hear about that. I got friends who use drugs. I got friends who were strung out on drugs. I got friends who were in and out of the penitentiary. So the same things that we are accusing these people of, the difference is they had better parenting around them. They had better leadership around them. They had better mentorship around them. They had a better community. Now, I'm not going to put this on all of the adults. But what I want us to do is understand these 2K children are different. They don't want to work. They don't want jobs. Your grandfather didn't want a job either. That's why your grandfather was an auto mechanic. That's why your grandfather was a carpenter. That's why your grandfather knew how to be a plumber. That's why your grandfather created trades and things around his life that he wouldn't have to go work because he had a skill, even agriculture. Farming is a skill. Everybody can't plant things and develop crop. You have to have that inside of you, or you have to have that developed inside of you. So while you're saying that they don't want to work, you're right. They don't want to work, because I can take the 2K child's mentality. I remember when I had the entrepreneurial spirit, much like I still have to this very day. And I took a job at McDonald's, mind you. And this may have enhanced my entrepreneurial spirit. The reason I say that, I was making orders. I was a dude who put in orders. I ordered the bread, I ordered the fries, I ordered the sauce to make them, the mix to make the shakes. I ordered the meat. I did it all. And you know what? One day, because I ain't had nothing else better to do, I literally did the math on how to make a Big Mac. This was in the 90s, early 90s. I did the math. You know what? In the 90s, they were selling Big Macs for like $2.50. Do you know how much it cost each individual store, or at least the store I was working in, to make a Big Mac? 38 cents. And then they were paying people minimum wage, which was $3.35 per hour. And they were making tens of thousands of dollars an hour. I mean, a day. Downtown Chicago, McDonald's, tens of thousands of dollars a day. And a sandwich costs 38 cents, and you charge people $2. So you know what? Young people will Google this now. Unlike us, we didn't have the privilege of Google. The 2K child, he has the ability to Google. What does this cost him? Well, how much you charging? And I'm gonna make this. Again, fast forward. I'm at a Fortune 500 company, Washington Post company. And I had just got a raise. I moved into 6 figures, and I said, good God, I've made it. Man, I'm making 6 figures, and I had never even thought about making 6 figures. I just thinking about making $55,000, $60,000. I made it. But now I'm making double what I wanted to make. And again, HRap went to his desk, typed up, and it was August. And I just got my review and I'm making 6 figures. I'm proud of myself. And just like these 2K children, you know what I did? I went right back to that calculator and did the math, and I had made that company $4.8 million, and it was only August. So that means I still have four months to go. So I probably made them $5.5 million that year. And they rewarded me by paying me $100K. See, these young people, they understand this, and they got hold to this. And they got this information. So it's not that they don't want to work. They don't want to work for someone else. They don't want to have a job. They want a skill, and they want to be paid the way they should be paid for exercising their abilities. But we don't talk to them. We don't talk to them. But what we do is allow our oppressor. And see, when you hear oppressor, you might think black. Now some Latinos getting oppressed. There's some Asians being oppressed. It's white folks getting oppressed. See, like I tell you, I speak directly to my community, but a rising tide lifts all boats. If I left our community, everybody else will lift too. This is the way God designed it. You help your brother, love your neighbor as you love thyself. See, what we are missing is we just label our children. We put a finger on our children. We tell our children what they are not. And then we tell this lie. They're not like us. Well, in 1988, there was this movie came out called Lean on Me. And if the kids are reckless, they're using drugs, they're using weapons, they're killing each other. I'm going to show you a scene from this movie, Lean on Me, that if you're of age, you know it. And if you're not, go look at it. It's a Morgan Freeman movie. It's about Joe Clark, a principal in Patterson, New Jersey, who was removed from a school because he had innovative ways to engage and had children paying homage to him. One of the young ladies in the scene, you will see her, and they removed him because they need people in jail. The system needs people in jail. The system needs people to be felonious. They need people to do things out of the scope because then they make money off that. Then they make money off you working every day. And you can see when people like myself say that we are identified as militant, radical, but a lot of us are just telling the truth as we see it. God gave us discernment so we can see around the corner. And a lot of us are not even trying to see around the corner. But I'm going to show you this scene in this movie. And you tell me, this is 1988, which means this probably had to start happening. Joe Clark had to go to that school around 1980, 83, because they're not just going to see something happen and make a movie. It has to have momentum. So this is what I'm going to show you. And then you tell me if this is what's going on in the schools and in the community today.
All of you to take a good look at these people on the risers behind me. These people have been here up to 5 years and done absolutely nothing. These people are drug dealers and drug users. They have taken up space. They have disrupted the school. They have harassed your teachers. And they have intimidated you. Well, times are about to change. You will not be bothered in Joe Clark's school. Yes. These people are incorrigible. And since none of them could graduate anyway, you are all expurgated. You are dismissed. You are out of here forever. I wish you well. Mr. Wright.
Again, I thought this was happening now. See, I thought y'all told me that the children were only cutting the food now. They were only not listening now. That movie was made almost 40 years ago. So that means those kids were cutting the food 40 years ago. Those young people were cutting up, and Joe Clark was called to save the day 40 years ago. So that means he left that school in the 60s. They brought him back in the 80s. So that means Joe Clark was responding to what you're saying people weren't doing then. So are you telling me that was a hardship case and nobody else in New Jersey was dealing with that? No, that's not the truth. So you have to understand when we have to return to communal parenting, because these 2K children, they have the wherewithal. They've been told things. They have specific minds. They've been told, have people respect my boundaries. But see, that's true, but it's not the reality. See, the truth and reality are two different things. Respect my boundaries. You should respect. Hey, if somebody give you to get away from me, you should get away from them. But it's other ways to get on your nerves and pick at you and poke at you and disturb your peace. And people just don't want to address that. And when we telling our children boundaries, we're not telling them that most people won't respect their boundaries. But as you see, these problems that I knew, again, back to that Bible, those holy books, there's nothing new under the sun. See, but what we did was allow in 1988, the same year that movie came out, the invention of CNN, 24-hour news, they laughed at it. And now they cover everything. And then you have people who will sensationalize chaos. I just was in chaos. Okay. But you know what? I come from the projects. I come from down the street from one of the most notorious projects in the United States of America. And the projects that I came from were more, and the people who lived in that notorious project were scared of the project that I came from. Well, I came from, oh, y'all crazy. We're like, oh, y'all on the news. But when you enter those public housing establishments, you meet some of the best people of your life. I got friends from public housing that I met in the 70s that are still my friends to this day, and they are successful human beings. I got some people who have wayward pasts as well, but people who I met in the other housing developments, Chicago public housing, they're some of the best people you ever meet in your life. I know some people who have done some notorious things, and they've told me about those things, and they have remorse, and they're pastors at churches right now. So don't act as if what we're seeing is new. The new part is there was a hole snatched out of the community between about 1985 and 1995. That hole was created by a substance that was pushed into our community, military-grade weapons that were pushed in our community, and it left a void. Some of our brothers and sisters were incarcerated, some of our brothers and sisters were addicted, and some of our brothers and sisters were unalived, which left a gigantic void in our community. And guess what? That void was a leadership vacuum, and it sucked a lot of leaders, and that created that. New school parents. Well, a lot of these younger parents didn't get the guidance and structure, or did not understand, or were not able, that structure wasn't explained to them. So they I'm gonna do it this way. Oh, my parents, I'm not gonna yell at my kids like my parents, but your parents. Exactly. That's why that's just happened to be where I'm down the street from. RC, thank you, brother. Some of my friends, you know, they didn't get it. I remember being a young person with an old school parent, but these new school parents are these people. Hey, man, I'm not going to yell at my children like my mother yelled at me. I'm going to let them do what they want to do. And that's exactly what happened. That person I'm thinking of, he ended up incarcerated for a decade, strung out on drugs for before that. And now his child is doing things that he shouldn't be doing. So, but instead of cracking down, and then we had a communal crackdown. See, just some of the people in the chat room, if I live next door to the brother RC, who just put the thing up down the street from Cabrini Green, even if I didn't like RC, I like my child. So guess what? If RC's son is doing something bad, brother RC, let me holler at you. And he probably think, what's this clown want? Hey, man, I saw your son acting cutting the fool. Now, guess what? RC might not even like it coming from me, but he's upset for two different reasons. Now this clown that I don't even like is addressing me about my child, and now my child is embarrassing me. So he is going to, I'm not even saying, I'm not an advocate of striking children, but he's going to get in this child's face, and now the child is aware that it's more than my mother and my father's eyes on me. It's more than my grandparents and my uncle's eyes on me, his neighbor's eyes on me. That's called communal parenting. these new school parents, don't say nothing to my child. Well, if you don't want me to say nothing to your child, please don't get on the news when your child is accosted by the police officer or unalived by a police officer or unalived by somebody in the community or has a substance abuse problem, because you told me not to say nothing. You told me it was not my business. See, we're not our children's parents. I mean, friends. We're their parents. We're their leadership. We're their guidance. We're literally their spiritual, social, and communal GPS. We're going to teach you how to navigate through this. Now, you can either listen to the GPS or you can get lost. That's how it is in real life. But these new school parents are not doing that. Are they parenting? This is just a question. I'm not going to put anything on anybody. Are they parenting or are they gifting? I know I recently was talking to a young person, and they were telling me how their cousin said, I only got one F. You only failed once. No, failure is not an option. But see, that's poor leadership, because at no point could you have even gathered your mind to say, I only failed once. That's not cool, but it's acceptable. And then they get gifts and they get toys and they get gadgets and they get Air Jordans and things like that. You're rewarding them for poor behavior. I remember once we were in the barbershop and this young man was like, hey, y'all, I got all A's. Y'all gonna give me something? Yeah, congratulations. You ain't getting credit for doing what you're supposed to do. You do not get credit for doing what you're supposed to do. And that's new school parenting. Well, celebrate my child for graduating from elementary school, from middle school, from high school. No, that's what they're supposed to. Do you celebrate your child when he cleans the kitchen, when he washes the dishes, when he sweeps the floor and mops the floor and cleans the bathroom and cleans his sleeping quarters? No, you don't. I'm not celebrating you. Like, hey, my son told him, get your act together or you're going to have a problem with me. He got his act together. He was in fear. He thought I was going to put hands on him. And at that time, I wasn't evolved enough not to put hands on him. So he was in fear. And all of a sudden, he get the highest grades he ever got in his life. Literally turned his academic career around. He said, ain't you proud of me? I was like, no, you're the only person that didn't know you could do that. I've been telling you can do it your whole life. And it turned him around. He went from an average student to getting into one of the most innovative schools in the city of Chicago. And I was proud of that. But I ain't telling him till he was older, like, look, but we would always have conversations. Say, hey, I know you can do this. All you have to do is apply yourself. I see how smart you are. But are these new school parents talking to these young people? Are these new school parents, for example, we've had civil unrest, we had racial unrest, we had racial situations, police brutality, we had all these things, and people are acting as if it was shocking. The same people who 25 years before 2020 or 30 years before 2020, their parents made them watch Eyes on the Prize. How could you watch videos from the 60s? How could you every year celebrate Dr. Because y'all know in the schools, it was only 4 Black people in the history of America: Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Dr. King, and the sister that said that. I can't think of her name. Can't think of her name right now. I'll think of it in a second. Them the only Black people they teach you about the Black History Month. And then they might throw it. I remember back when I was young, they'd throw a Bill Cosby and OJ in. Rosa Parks. They would only tell you about those people. But what I want you to understand is, are we teaching our children and preparing them for the worst? See, the worst is you get a menial job and then you move forward and you make something happen. The best is your dreams come true, you excel and prevail. See, we need to be preparing our children for all of the above. But are we? Are the new school parents doing that? Or you can't yell at my child. Yes, I can. Because do you want your child? Because I'm going to take my children. My children have been to Disneyland. My children have been to Wisconsin Dells, Lake Geneva. They've been to Jamaica. They've been to the Bahamas. They've been to Dominican Republic. They've seen this country and they've seen this world. And I'm not bragging, but I bust my back so they can see those things. And my daughter is celebrating her birthday this year in the Dominican Republic with my nieces. Are we pouring into our children the love, attention, the academic excellence that's expected of them, giving them the history? But are the new school parents doing that? Are the new school uncles doing that? Are the new school aunts doing that? See, again, it's a way to metaphorically whoop a child's behind. I'm going to show you a clip right now without even laying a hand on them. And if you think it wasn't the same way it was then, now then, again, here's another clip from the movie. And we all seen this, and some of us have chuckled at it. I'm some of us. But I want you to look at the look on Morgan Freeman's face at the end of this. I'll be back shortly. Look at this clip. I'll be back shortly.
The trouble with being a teenager is you don't know nothing. The problem with teenagers is you think you're smarter than people who've already been down the road you're traveling. You know what I'm trying to say to you, boy? Do you?
Yes, sir.
Go on, get out of here. You're wasting my time.
Please let me back, sir. I have to get back in school. I can't go home and tell my mom I got kicked out of school.
Now, why should I let you back into my school, Sams?
Because I'm going to do better, sir.
How?
By doing my work.
What else?
And staying out of trouble.
What have you been thinking about all this time? Why should I believe you now?
Because I changed my ways.
I don't believe you, Sams. I don't think you've changed a thing. Go on, jump.
No, I don't want to jump.
Yes, you do. You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack?
Yes, sir.
You know what that does to you? Huh?
No, sir.
It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells. Now, when you're destroying your brain cells, you're doing the same thing as killing yourself. You're just doing it slower. Now, I say if you want to kill yourself, don't fuck around with it. Go on and do it expeditiously. Now, go on and jump. Jump.
No, I don't want to kill myself, sir.
You're quite sure about this, are you?
Yes, sir.
All right, Sam, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back on my own word, just this once, and let you back into my school. Because you're still a baby and you don't know shit. But you understand this, boy. You're not going to get a moment's rest. I'm going to be on your case every minute. You mess up just once, and you're out of here. Now, you understand me? Do you understand me?
Yes, sir.
I'm going back downstairs.
All the new school parents doing that. See, it's easy to yell and scream and sit your behind down and I'm going to kick your. That's the easiest thing in the world to do with a child. But are you challenging them? Are you tapping into who that child is? A pivot. I literally went into high school saying in the yearbook, I'm going to be the class clown. And buddy, I was on my way. I was getting kicked out of class. I had turned getting kicked out of class to an art form. I can remember my senior year of high school. It was senior ditch day. I don't know if y'all had that, but we had it. And we were going to see Eddie Murphy's Raw. And I couldn't miss any more days in class or I would have got the F. I got an F on missing, not on academics. So, but I knew, wait till the sheet, and I got kicked out the class because I knew exactly how to trigger. So one day I got kicked out of class, and this was a pivotal moment in my academic career as well. Just like with my son, it was a pivotal moment with me. I went to the principal's office, and I just looked up at the wall, and I was pissed off because this time I didn't even do what I was supposed to do, but my reputation was such that if anything happened, they was kicking me out. I looked at the wall and it said, you sick of these people telling you what to do? Your parents getting on your nerves? The teachers getting on your nerves? Well, go home and pack right now while you know everything and move out. I don't know why that hit me the way it did, but the light went on and I was a better student from that point on. Every individual needs to be triggered in each and every different way. That's why you have uncles. That's why you have cousins. That's why you have neighbors. That's why you have friends. That's why you have brothers and sisters. That's why you have grandparents. Because me also, my academic career was triggered by a friend who said I wasn't as smart as I was. I had a friend, I had my grandmother, my dad's mother, who talked to me for an hour, and I felt horrible after she told me some of her things in her life. And I got my academic career in order after that because I want to disrespect that lady. I was like, oh my God, that was horrible. So, and then guess what? Yelling didn't work with me. Yelling and hitting didn't work. I got spankings, whippings, whatever you want to call it. I got them, and it was like, whatever. It got to the point where I'm bigger than you. You can't really hurt me. Then she got a brother, and he was way bigger than me. And I was like, okay, it's going to hurt for a little while. But these girls laughing at these jokes, and my homies laughing at these jokes, I want to be popular. And that's the low end of, that's called, what is it? Age appropriate adolescent misbehavior. But it's some people that didn't have the guidance of my mother. Just like my son told me Saturday, he said, boy, sometimes I ain't getting in trouble because I just didn't want to hear your darn mouth. And my son 32. Well, he'll be 32 in September. So I want you to understand, we have to approach these young people in different ways, shape, forms, and fashions. And that scene, he knew Sam's wanted to stay, but he wanted Sam's to make the commitment. Sam's didn't make a commitment to Joe Clark. Sam's made a commitment to himself. Are we true school parents are we allowing children to make commitments to themselves? See, you can whoop a kid and he might be straight for a little while and he might get his act together. You can yell at a kid, he might get his act together, but you need to start triggering them to do what we want them to do, not what we ask them to do. See, if we are pouring into a child, guess what? Some kids are going to do exactly what they want to do, like me. I just didn't do it. I just didn't get caught because my mother's in heaven right now. And if God's showing her the preview of some of the stuff I was doing when she wasn't looking, boy, she might be waiting on slap me in my face when I get there. But again, like I said at the top of the show, not getting caught is not doing. But guess what? I would go to the line. I would never cross the line because like my son said, I don't feel like dealing with that lady. Our children saying that to us now. The wayward children. Because guess what? Even some of the wayward kids had other people. I knew of a guy who was the street organization leader. And he literally told a young man from my community, do not do this. This is not for you. Go over there with your athletic buddies, man. Are we doing that as adults now? Or are we just saying, man, these kids, really? Is it these kids? Are we doing a piss poor job at raising these young people? These young people need us. And we can look at them, we can look at the news and label our young people. See, that's what's wrong with them. But I want you to, next time that thought shoots through your mind when you're watching the news or you're looking at social media or wherever you get your information, see these young people. I want you to do this. And I rarely say this word on air, but I'm going to say it. These young people lazy. These young people don't want no job. These young people don't listen. See, that's what's wrong with these young people. I'm going to say this word today, and I'm going to do my very best to never use it again. I'm going to take young people out of all those sentences. These niggas is lazy. These niggas don't want no job. These niggas is trifling. These niggas can't read. Because that's all you're doing. You sounding like your oppressor. You putting on the oppressive cape. And you wearing it now. Because if you're not willing to ride for these kids, if you're not willing to die for these kids, if you're not willing to take time out your day and stand up for these young people, don't complain. See, when I walk down the street, I speak to the young squads. I don't care if you got your pants hanging down around your ankles. I don't care if I see the gun in your back. What's up, young blood? And what's up, old school? My man. And keep walking. And they see me come, old school, and keep walking. You ain't got to yell at them, scream at them. I used to do rideshare driving. You know what I did during my rideshare career? Young dudes used to use me as a drug mule. I knew it. And anytime I want to get in the car, I identify with, hey, young blood. Hey man, yo, old school, can I sit on the floor? Literally, a real conversation. Can I sit on the floor and you take the long way? Here go $50. Keep your $50, stay on the floor, and I'm going to talk to you. And guess what? That young brother, when I end this program, he's going to text me and say, good looking out, old school, because he do it every week. He watched one show a week. I'm on here 3, maybe 4 to 5 times a week. Young blood hit me once every 7 days. Old school, you got down, man. Appreciate you. So hopefully he watching now. See, because y'all will tell me that young man was incorrigible because I saw the stick in his side. I saw it. I knew he had cannabis. It was cannabis in his bag, and a lot of it. Then I say, man, you should be doing it. You know what I do? You know what I did tell him? Because I ain't got no way to feed his family. I said, you know what you do, young blood? You should go to the Dollar Tree and get some Pringles or the Lay's. Put your stuff in there and put the top on it. It'll seal the smell. I said, that way I ain't got to use this whole can of Lysol when you get out. He said, my bad, old school. Dropped me off a 50 piece, got out, and I picked him up 2 or 3 more times after that. But I didn't speak at him. I spoke to him. I didn't try to be overbearing and tell him what he didn't know. And see, that's your problem. I was talking to him. I spoke to him like he was a young man. Because guess what? Black people not the only people. Latino people not the only people who sold drugs. The Rockefellers and the Kennedys and all these rich people who we look up to, it's a very good chance. We know Joe Kennedy was a bootlegger. And if you only think he was shipping liquor, you are outside your GD mind. And for those in Chicago, not that GD. But I want you to understand. But if we start talking to our children and be true school parents and say, hey, that's not going to last long. I need you to have something to fall back on. I really would wish you wouldn't do that. Why don't you come over here and I can show you some things? I could tell you some things. I could help you through some things instead of just waving your finger. Because, hey, the last time I checked, I wasn't an angel. And anytime my mama waved her finger, I was like, oh, here we go. In my mind, of course, because I'll still be trying to grow my tongue back. If I'd say, here we go, she slapped it out my mouth. But I sat there and was like, here we go. And I heard, bah, 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 bah. But when she talked to me and say, look, Brian, I don't need you to do this. You need to get this in order. And when she talked to me and not yelled at me, I heard every word of it. And I hear it. Even my mother, as of in September, it'll be 15 years. And every single day I hear my mother in my ears because she loved me. She talked to me. She was strict as a drill sergeant. But I had more fun with my mama than any of my homies. My mother was one of the funniest humans in the world, but she just didn't play no games. So I was able to get the message and the fun and the guidance. So are we, as true school parents, are we doing that? And that ain't my son. Yes, it is. Because that dude might be hanging with your son. He might be flirting with your daughter. So do you want your daughter flirting with a bum? Or a person with poor guidance? Or do you want them to be able to turn to you, hey, Mr. Smith, Mr. Jackson, they can holler at you. I'm stressed out. Can you help me? Don't you want these young people to be able to walk up to you and say that? See, these are the things I need us to start doing instead of just see, they ain't going to let you. They can't stop you from loving your community, loving your neighbor, loving your little cousin, loving your and this is a term that I really wish we would abolish. My stepson, my stepdaughter. Man, if I feed you this many times, you mine. And if your daddy ain't around, you mine for sure. And you ours if he around. And hey, we can eliminate the baby mama, baby daddy conversation. That's my child. That's my child. I stepped up as a human being and I'm gonna raise this child. My son, homie, coming with me. Shout out to Mike Bradley. He used to be at my crib all the time. Dothan and Willie and these dudes. They used to be at my crib all the time. My nephew Mike, my nephew Vince, my nephew Peanut, nephew Jew. Saw my nephew Anthony today. So we can pretend that they are our step and neighbor's children, but these are our children because you know what? You learn more from your friends than you do your parents, whether you parents want to understand that or not. Because when the teacher teaching, and your homeboy don't understand it, you get it. He's like, hey, because me, I love history. My homie, Taryn Alexander, he's like, yo, B, I got you. And then after school, he calling the crib and my mom cussing me out. How you helping people get A's and you getting C's? Because I don't pay attention in class, Mom. I know how to do the work. I don't want to do it. And it ain't football or baseball season, so you ain't gonna take nothing. I don't care about watching no TV. So yeah, I can do it. And then I started getting D's, and then she shut up. But you learn from your friends, good, bad, or indifferent. You learn easier from your friends because your friends are displaying more patience for you. Your friends are caring enough that they don't want you to be a bum. That's what a friend is. But what I want you to understand is, true school parents, remove these labels like their child, stepchild, the little kid from down the street, he bad. Because ain't no bad children. It's children who have gone through bad circumstances and they can't mentally, emotionally navigate through those. And that's why God put your black behind, your Asian behind, your Latino behind here to help them. Your white behind here to help them. As I tell y'all every day, I'm speaking to my community. But as you know, a rising tide lifts all boats. So I'm going to lift my community and y'all going to remember because we're going to get past all of this. With that being said, this is 3 of 3. What do I mean by 3 of 3? The first one was Bitter Baby Mamas. I want you to go to YouTube. The End of the Bench Media on YouTube. Go to the live tab. You can get everything I've done. Every single thing I've done. You can like, comment, like it, share it, tell a friend to tap in, subscribe. But hey, if you say something worth commenting on, I'm gonna respond. But if you don't, I'm gonna hit like and love. And if you give me some compliment, because I don't really accept compliments well. Hey, how you doing? Great, HRap. Nah, thanks, man. But keep tapping in. But I want you to do this because they shadow ban me because I'm uplifting my people. They don't want me uplifting my people. I was doing 4,000 a day. Now I'm doing a couple hundred a day. So I need y'all to give me back. You know, I ain't get 400,000 people tapping in for nothing. But we're gonna restart the algorithm, and I need y'all to wait till the show end and type in where you calling from or where you watching from. Just do it for me. When you see Dr. Amos Wilson, you see the screen go off. Just go in, go ahead, check them out. But I need you to go there, watch everything I got. The first one was Bitter Baby Mamas. Please tap in. The last one was what was the last one? I do so many. The last one was right up under Bitter Baby Mamas. Then I can't think of Respect. That's what it was. I had so much stuff in my head because I'm coming back on air in about 10 minutes. I'm about an hour. Me and Mo, we back. Cheap Seats in the building. But it's respect. And then today is Save the Children, because the children are the most important things and the most important entities in the universe. Because if we don't take care of the children, who gonna take care of your butt when you get old? And who gonna tell people about how great grandmother, mother, father, aunt, uncle, friend, neighbor you are? Nobody. So take care of the children so they can take care of us. That's how your name lives into infinity, because guess what? My grandmother died at 77. The other one died in 92. And my buddy Joe, I tell him stories about them. And he was like, I say, hey, Joe, when do you think my grandmother passed? He's like, what, about 5 years ago? I was like, nah, man, my grandmother passed when I was 7. And the other one passed when I was 22. I'm 50, 55, man. 55 in a few weeks. So nah, they just stick with you. Are you sticking with somebody? Are you sticking with a young person? Is a young person going to remember you for the rest of their life because you did something positive in their life? Ask yourself that. You don't owe nobody. You owe everybody because somebody did it to you. And if they didn't, that's even more reason to pour into a young person because you ain't get it, so you don't want to be treated like they were treated. With that being said, I am Brian HRap B. Williams. This is the End of the Bench Media. A few minutes with HRap, 2 fingers, 1 word, and I.
And it is necessary for those people who rule over us and who rule over African people the world over, if those people are to stay in power, they must destroy our ability to love each other in a healthy sort of way. This is why